Hey there team, and welcome to a battle I've actually tried to record a few times. I think this is my third attempt at it. It's been a while though since I last tried it out. This was actually my mic testing battle. One of the ones I was trying to do to just test out my new microphone. So that was quite some time ago, as I say. So I've forgotten it a little bit. This is a 3v3 on Lake Evendim. I'm playing as Rhudaur. I have two more evil armies next to me, and we're up against an army of good. We're up against Erebor, Rohan, and Mirkwood. So, feeling pretty happy. Got my Rhudaur clansmen here and some Rhudaur swordsmen, Black Wolves, Berserkers. Of course, got my general in amongst them. The enslavers, clansmen, yep, two clansmen there. Black Wolves, again, yep, 2 units of Black Wolves. Okay, that's out of the ordinary for me. Swordsmen, troll hunters, and rangers, which is quite rare for me to grab them, but I know that this is going to be a pretty tightly packed battle. Herenidane pikes, Dunman pikes, and Dunman pikes. I should say Dunman. It's Dunman. I don't know why I always say Dune. Yeah, there's no E there. Yeah, don't know. Oh. Marksman and marksman. As I say, I usually go for the Rhudaur marksman. I don't really like cheaping out. Not when the archers are so bad anyway, you know, just getting the Rhudaur marksman, at least I know they're kind of going to hit their targets. First ally here is Windbrisk, so he's got his Uruk-hai archers out front, backed up by some crossbowmen. Uruk-hai pikes, then infantry behind them. Champions off the white hand, and trolls. So really no Dunman today for them. Dunman. Just called myself out for that. Dunlenders, I guess, and the Warg skirmishers, an entirely Uruk-hai and Orcish force. Then Critch is bringing Rhun to the field, or Rhun, if we're going down the line of pronouncing. I can just stop right now. Eastron hunters there, Eastron hunters, Loknarim, Eastron clansmen, nicely beefed out clansmen today, which is cool to see. Eastron warriors there, Scion Rim line, and the Gamp Rim there, with some Dragon Knights, Horse Guard, and Eastron Warriors, some more clansmen, and Innis Rim, and yeah, cool. We're shuffling things around, of course. I probably called out a lot of those units twice, but yeah, as we're on 0.5 speed. I was the host of this match, which is not too frequently done for me, but I really wanted to play on Lake Evendim. I've only ever really played this map before as like free-for-alls, and I didn't want to play a siege, but I wanted us to all be fighting together. I didn't really want to do a normal 3v3 where we're each kind of fighting ourselves, fighting our singular opponent. So I wanted to give this a go and really compact our forces together and see how well we could coordinate. With Lake Evendim, you can go around that other side, but it's a bloody long way. And with all three of us being pretty sturdy infantry lines, we kind of want it to be a nice jam-packed fight. So the first enemy here is Lord Blackcole. He's got his Ironfoot crossbows, some Ironfoot warriors, more Ironfoot warriors, and the Ironfoot spear line. Ironfoot spears are really quite impressive. Yeah, I've seen them in sieges quite a lot recently, and they're performing incredibly well for like a spearman. Ironfoot wargoats, 2 units of Ironfoot wargoats right there. Ironfoot Pike Line, Axe Guard, Erebor Legionnaires, Axe Guard, Sons of Durin, and the Obsidian Guard. So not too heavy on the elites today, which is a smart plan, I think, but quite a big money sink into that cavalry, so we'll see if Lord Blackcole can use those properly. Trebor here with his Mirkwood forces, a lot of it's going to be hidden. We're going to have to call out some stuff as we see it, but he's got the Eldar Council, and some Spears of Emenduir. Bit of numbers to the field, and the Sindar. Again, another sturdy-ass cavalry unit to the field. The last of the good guys here is Rohan, played by Egusama. So he's got his Westmark infantry, Helmingus, more Westmark, Elred, more Elred, Westmark spears, the Shield Maidens of Rohan, solid choice. Riders of the Fold, and the First Marshal's Bodyguard, some Westmark Spearmen there. So first thing, apologies about the weather outside. It's been freaking horrific for the past few days, so I'm hoping it'll just chill out, but we're probably going to hear a bit of hail coming down. So the first thing that we noticed, another thing I should state, this was back in like the end of November we played this, so this was from a really long time ago, and also, then on to the actual match. We are definitely outmatched cavalry-wise. I've not taken any cavalry, apart from one unit of, there we are, maidens. Coldfell maidens I do have. So, but apart from that, no units of cavalry. We're kind of jumping about a bit. We'll see. Hopefully that'll get better as we go on. But apart from that, it's really just Rhun that's got some cavalry. So, and of course a few warg skirmishers. But all in all, with Rohan's forces, the Sindar on the field, and those wargoats, we are pretty outmatched when it comes to cavalry. So we need to make sure that this becomes the infantry fight that we want it to be. I get my Rhudaur marksmen up forward. Oh, a lot of them firing up and over there, but I'm just wanting to target those wargoats. They may be heavily armoured, but they lack a shield, so arrows can just whittle them down. Let me just, because I went for like the highest unit detail. I think high is kind of enough, and hopefully that will help things. And also, let's sign out of Steam Friends. So, yeah, my Rhudaur marksmen, I'm never really relying on them to get kills. They're just there to kind of waste the enemy ammunition, which is kind of working right now. So I'm just firing off pot shots toward the enemy lines, and Lord Blackhole is responding with his crossbows. So his crossbows will demolish my poor Rhudaur marksman. But any shot that's going onto our Rhudaur marksman is one shot that's not going onto the Herenadine pikes, or something that I really do need. Hiding here are my Herenadine rangers. They've been hiding right since the end of the deployment, so the enemy has no knowledge that they're there, and I don't really want to touch them until I really have to use them. I'm kind of interested about the proposed changes for the Herenadine rangers, changing them from an actual body piercing unit, a typical ranger, into an armor piercing archer, which intrigues me, as I say. Trebor is charging forward with his Woodland Realm axemen, but luckily Windbrisk is quick enough to get his Urukai archers back and slam a unit of pikemen forward. Why are we still getting these little jumps? That's strange. We'll see how that comes out in the recording. I don't want to have to do this battle for a fourth time. But luckily, yeah, as good as those Woodland Realm axemen are, they're not going to really beat through the pikes. Now, this is probably where Trebor should have just fallen back with them. He kind of, like, he went for it. He had them hidden there. He had a decent opportunity. Didn't really play out, but he maybe should think about retreating now. Actually, he's got a decent avenue of attack on my archers. Maybe he shouldn't be retreating. But with only 68 men left, he's in a difficult situation. Yeah, he's able to make contact with my archers, and even my Rhudaur clansmen will struggle to fight that sort of force. Taking a bit of friendly fire from the back as well, but just the overwhelming numbers should break this unit, given time. Already down to sort of 44. And the little bit of assisting fire I'm getting from Windbrisk is helping me out an awful lot. Ironfoot crossbows falling back now. They've really not used up too much ammo. Lord Blackhole did sort of catch on to what I was trying to do, but I've killed a few of those crossbowmen, and now I'm actually firing into some of those Ironfoot spears. So, heavily armoured, nicely shielded. I'm not going to really kill too many, but I'm just really want to bite away at them and make them fight me. Really. Rohan's pretty slow at the back there, but Egusama is arriving now. Oh dear, the hail is kicking up a bit. But yep, Spears of Emendweir, we're seeing there's a heap lot of Spears of Emendweir, which they're going to be holding the line pretty damn well, but probably not getting a massive amount of kills, but can definitely do the same function as a lot of these Dwarven units, just with a lot less armour. So probably not surviving as well to firing. These Woodland Realm Patrol or Axemen are falling back now, but we can see even with those very low numbers they had and as much support as they did have as well, they've killed quite a lot of those Rhudaur clansmen and a few of those Rhudaur marksmen as well. So definitely not a wasted cause there. What am I firing into now? I think I'm hopefully going for these Woodland Realm Patrol. As I said in my last battle, Mirkwood is... They are fantastic in a skirmish fight, but they can't actually take that much damage. You know, they're fantastic in a skirmish fight because they can do so much damage so quickly. But when it comes to actually taking that fire, they can be quite fragile. So if you get the first few volleys off on them before they can really punish you, it can work out okay. Or in this case, when we just have about 4 archers targeting this one unit, that's going to go alright as well. Almost missed this charge here. Lord Blackhole comes in. He almost manages to catch my archers. I think he did get a few of them. A lot of these guys were torn to pieces by firing. Actually, damn, I lost a lot of them. But I was able to lurch my clansmen forward and jump at him. But those wargoats are sturdy, as I say. So Rhudaur clansmen can actually pump out a decent bit of damage, to be honest. They are, as all Rhudaur forces are, they're focused more on damage than defense. So they can definitely hurt that guy. Which they do, even lacking any sort of armor piercing. Ironfoot Spears now standing up at the front. Lord Blackhole is more than happy to just absorb my low damage arrow fire. But yeah, I'll get a few more kills, but it kind of is a bit of a waste of ammunition. Maybe I should be holding fire. Arid standing their ground. Now that we've managed to sort of limit it to here, as I say, you can run around the other side, which is very difficult to do with an infantry force, but with the amount of cavalry that Egusam has brought, I was quite surprised to see that he hadn't done that. And very glad, of course. I think this is the Narem rattling into the Woodland Realm Patrol. So the Narem are quite pretty damn good, pretty decent accuracy on them. So they can't quite match elves, but along with about 4 units of Urukai archers, they certainly can. And we are able to sort of shoot down this unit of Woodland Realm Patrol, which is unfortunate because they'll be quite useful in a melee fight after that. These 12 men were actually charging our lines, but it looks like they were broken. Critch has come over here, and he's now taking over the role of Ammo Sponge with his Eastron Hunters. So we might... You know, we've got a lot of archers, but it's so low damage, and Lord Blackhole standing at the front as he is going to make it really difficult for us to get much use out of them. And or get much damage out of them. We can certainly use them, but how much damage that'll do, well, you can see, yeah. They got a kill there. I think there was another dwarf that died. Let's just sort of stand in amongst the dwarves here and see how much this seems to hurt them. Yeah. A lot of arrows hitting, even with this sort of spread formation there. Because we're coming in from pretty damn close range, to be honest. The RM continuing to be targeting these Woodland Realm Patrol. Now this was something I found quite interesting. Even though this unit is spread out in you know, the spread formation, I find that because they're kind of in this long, narrow line, rather than, you know, they're long, they're not wide, I find that that's an easier target than a wide formation would be. Maybe that's me kind of being dumb, but I don't know. For some reason, I find it. I find I do get a lot more kills when I'm shooting at a target like this, rather than say, well, I guess if this line was wider. This is the perfect, because it is, even though they are spread out, they're still in this box, which is just quite easy to shoot at. And because Rohan's gone quite cavalry heavy, they're lacking a huge amount of archers. They've got the Helmingus, to be honest, but you know, and Mirkwood, of course, being one of the best archer factions in the game, they are still much more elite archers, and Erebor, of course, having crossbowmen. So we've got the ranged advantage here, or at least we've got the ranged advantage for this early skirmish phase. When Mirkwood is really able to rattle into us, that might change things. We're at 7 for 10 though, so as good as this kind of is feeling for us, we have been losing quite a few men. These Helmingus step forward and we're able to sort of rattle into them, but they're decently armoured and they've got a shield. The only benefit we've got is that they're in this tightly packed formation right now. But being a more numbers heavy human archer, that's exactly what you want to sort of just plough through my archers and rattle a few shots into my Rhudaur clansmen, I'm sure. No armor upgrade for the Rhudaur clansmen today. It's something that I do like to give them, but just couldn't afford it today. Ironfoot Warriors, yeah, as you can see, there's just so few. There's only 3 of these guys left, so they're no longer really a decent target. But that's such a shame. That's 33 that we've actually got routing off the field, so they might still have ammunition as they're running away. Or they might have been charged forward. As I say, it just becomes quite a big hodgepodge. Let's go... Oh yeah, we can basically just stay at this map mode for a while. Yeah, good. Let's do that. Because it's just quite interesting to see how our lines are overlapping and mixing in with one another. The Ironfoot warriors of Lord Blackhole are colliding with Critch's Eastron hunters, and you can just see how quickly the Eastron hunters collapse in the face of that. Even amongst these Ironfoot spears, they're just not really an opponent, as the dwarves just power right through them. So, but Critch is happy enough to lose them. They've used up their ammunition, or most of it. So, of course, we'd want to maybe get them out, but I think Critch is kind of just deciding to hold these units in place for a while, as Lord Blackhole really comes forward with quite a brutal force. I get my Coldfell Maidens up here. They were, of course, more there to deal with a unit like, say, the Hammer Guard, but no, since there are no Hammer Guard in the field, I'm just wanting to unload on these dwarves, especially because I've kind of been caught off guard. I didn't expect Lord Blackhole to get so aggressive in like, such a quick manner. So I'm getting my archers back, because my archers still do have a bit of ammunition. So trying to get my Rhudaur clansmen, both units, throwing them on in there. Are they the same unit? That's a very unusual split that they've got going on there. Some Black Wolds coming forward. Bit worried about the enemy archer fire, but my Black Wolds are perfect for just cracking through some dwarves. Yep, no, we're seeing a lot of enemy arrow fire coming into them. Even no crossbowmen. No, I don't know who's firing into me, but anybody. Oh gosh, if the Hiri Peng spotted this, these poor Black Wolds would disappear. Ironfoot Pikes just having to be grabbed by my Rhudaur clansmen. And if you look at the minimap, it's so bloody chaotic already. As they've pushed. How deep have they managed to push with these Ironfoot crossbows? Warriors. They pushed all the way back into these Rhudaur marksmen. But doing so has really damaged their morale, and they're wavering now, as that unit is spread so far. And now they've broken, and that's a big unit of Ironfoot warriors to just break. And I'm able to tidy them up. Erebor coming forward now. They got a decent charge, actually. A pretty damn decent charge onto my Black Wolds. They disappeared into the face of that charge. You really don't have much room to maneuver here with your Erebor or your War Goats, whatever you're using. But no, that was a nice little charge. He's, of course, disappearing now. He's maybe stayed in the fight a little bit longer than he should. But there's a lot of microing to be done, even over this sort of very small area. So we've still got a bit of ammunition, so we don't want to make this a proper frontline engagement right now. We want to we're more just trying to hold on to them and then hammer shots into them. Whereas they're kind of trying to hold on to us and cavalry slam us. It's quite interesting to see the sort of mix between cavalry focused and archery focused in this sort of battle. Some War Goats actually managed to pierce in amongst the Coldfell Maidens, and those War Goats do actually have an anti-cavalry bonus. I think they're spear cavalry, if I'm sure of that. But being outnumbered as badly as they are, they may be very superior to the Maidens, but they can't really win that fight. They'll rack up a few more kills though. And I think, as always, I give my Coldfell Maidens a melee upgrade. It's just it just turns, gives them that one extra point in melee damage and allows them to go toe-to-toe with a few things that they maybe would normally not be able to. Black Wolds here, still having doing some good work. They're not really known for their survivability, even with those 2 hit points. They will disappear. I'd like to get a shot of the lake in the background. That looks quite nice. Let's go for that one. Yeah, see how that goes. Good. Yep. But that 2 hit points keeps them alive a little bit longer, but they are going down now, especially with this cavalry pestering away at them. But I've moved up my more troll hunters. As I say, that's our main goal here. Just lock them in place and throw stuff at them, or lock them in place and shoot arrows at them. And I'm getting some good damage in with my troll hunters right now, which is nice because once these troll hunters use up all their ammunition, they can take the job off the Rhudaur clansmen. They become spearmen, nicely, decently armored, good shields, spearmen, and they just hold the line. There's a bit of a push over here as Lord Blackhole is engaging the Gamp Rim now too, and that's actually quite a surprise to me. I would have thought the Gamp Rim would be tearing through that, but no, Lord Blackhole's managed to really just split that unit apart and start mowing through them. And I think Critch might be on guard mode with that unit. It's hard to say, but it looks like it. Be good if maybe Windbrisk could just come forward and get a side stab with his pikes, but it looks like Critch is going to be answering this anyway. Oh, some of my... Oh, were we chasing something back here? Looks like it. Yeah, you're seeing some Mirkwood men actually ran all the way back here. Oh wow, I freaking love them. Look at that. The Eastron Horse Guard with an armor upgrade just look incredible, don't they? Yeah, I love the Clan Guard and the Eastron, these Eastron Guard when you give them armor upgrades. Yep, no, so that's more dwarves coming forward. I'm trying to answer to this with my poor Rhudaur swordsman, who they might be able to dish out quite a bit of damage, but it's not armor piercing damage, so these units like the Ironfoot Warriors and the Ironfoot Spears are able to hold them back without much issue. Axeguard of Erebor there pop up, and I think that this is the moment I've been waiting for, as they're quite jam-packed there. They lack a shield, they've got good armor. Okay, I don't go for it just yet, but my Hereditane Rangers are of course just hiding there. They've not revealed themselves at all during this battle. Took a little while for them to start losing, but yet my Rhudaur swordsmen are suffering now. I have gotten a bit better in recent months with mixing and matching a bit between, you know, my Rhudaur swordsman and my Rhudaur axeman. I used to be all Rhudaur swordsman all the time, whereas now I'm a bit different. Of course, if I'm going up against a lighter armored faction, say maybe any of the orcs really, or goblins, gosh forbid, I'll probably just go for swordsman in place. Critch is coming forward now with a nice organized Gamprim line. He's taken a bit of enemy fire, but as I say, the enemy, because they were... Oh, these are the Riders of the Fold rattling into this. Because they were a lot more careful with their archers than we were, they've got a lot more ammunition to spend in this later stage. These Erebor Legionnaires are still mincing through this. I had to send over like a full unit of Black Wolves to help deal with this. And that seems to be helping out, but the Gamprim are sorting themselves out as well, and I think we're going to get some more Gamprim backstabbing, and that should hopefully be enough. But the Erebor Legionnaires are a very fearsome unit. I think we missed the volleys. Yep, you can see quite a lot of them have just sort of been destroyed there by largely by my Hereditane Rangers, but I won't take all the credit. The Gamprim were a big part of that. It's interesting to see this mixture between the halberds and the two-handed axes. Once again, yeah, these poor Gamprim just seem to be struggling to form up properly. I think I've got, yeah, my first unit of Hereditane pikes are coming forward. But they were at 160. Now they're at 155. They've got a shield, and they've got some half-decent armor for a Rhudaur man, though. So they should be able to hold out under a bit of arrow fire. But as I say, the shield maidens are moving forward, and we've got all of these horse archers that we just can't really catch. If we were to try and send out an infantry unit to try and deal with that, then all of the enemy cavalry would set upon us. We're at 34 for 33 now, so we're actually down a percentage, as my Rhudaur marksmen are thrown into the confrontation. I've got a very loud crying cat outside my door. I'm hoping he can just chill out. As I say, he just doesn't like the bad weather. What I really should have probably done is grabbed my Coalfell Maidens and gone after the horse archers, but instead of that, I'm kind of coming around here looking for a target to do a quick charge into. The Ironfoot crossbows. I'm just not really going to be able to kill many crossbows in melee, but if I can come in and out for a few charges, and of course Lord Blackcold's not got them on guard mode there, so I was able to stop them shooting for a little while. My Rhudaur marksman actually flanked all the way around, and we just want to finally destroy this same unit of Erebor Legionnaires that has just been bothering us for ages and ages now. Even with my Black Wolves, who are down to 95 now, so they've suffered quite a few casualties. Critch is responding with his cavalry. He's got a few knights to bring to the table, so he will be able to inflict some casualties with that. And you see this poor unit of Hereditane pikes has just been totally split apart and shot to pieces now, with only 69 left. But my Rhudaur swordsmen are doing all right there. Of course, the heavy axes off the axe guard not really able to get their full use when just cracking into the lightly armoured, or well, barely armoured Rhudaur swordsmen. And Critch is in place to just mop up what's left. Helmingus needing to be moved forward, getting the Rohirrim at their own game by charging a few of them down. Riders of the Fold needing to come forward now. Very happy to see them out of ammunition, but what's certainly not out of ammunition are the Shield Maidens, who got a good volley into the side of the Innis Rim. This is really, you know, horse archers versus lancers is not the most dramatic cavalry fight on the planet, but Yeah, pretty balanced. Looks like the NSRM are kind of taking it, probably just because of their heavy armor advantage they've got there. So I'm sending forward a unit of Dunman Hunters, just to try and sort that out either way, and also the more Troll Hunters out of ammunition. As I said, spears and melee, very useful tools to have. Westmark infantry is really not, you know, I love Rohan as a faction, and I say that as a guy who hates cavalry. So no, I really like to use units like the Westmark, and I think they're pretty damn good. And you can see that's why I am trying to rattle a lot of ranger fire into them. I want to shred this unit. Just about everything apart from the Mirkwood forces are very well armored, but at least the Westmark are not exceptionally well armored. So I'm going for them. Haven't sent my enslavers forward. As I say, I don't put my general in with the enslavers because for two main reasons. One, well, three, I guess. One, dumb narrative sense. I prefer him to be amongst like a Herenidane ranger unit. I think that's a cooler concept for me. You know, if he's amongst, if he's amongst the Herenidane, the men of Rhudaur, rather than amongst the kind of tainted enslavers of Angmar, who may be humans, but they are certainly not serving Rhudaur. They are serving a much darker force. So but yeah, so that's my lower reason. But then secondly, I really value the enslavers in melee, and Rhudaur really sometimes just needs to send off a damn good unit to go and deal with an enemy damn good unit, and not really worry about winning, just worry about kind of doing all right in the fight. So that's what I need them for. These poor clansmen just got absolutely ronda-roosied by a quick war goat charge. Decimated them there. But that's their purpose in a fight. Even heavily armoured like that, they're quite cheap. I think they're about 450. So, and you get a very large unit for that cost. So they are here to die, and die en masse. But I really don't have much left. And Critch has got, apart from this little blob, Critch doesn't have much left. So we're kind of relying on Windbrisk to bring it home for us, as he sends forward his pikes to just go toe-to-toe with all this. I say it every time, but like a nice big pike unit toward the end of the game, be it a siege or a field battle, it can work wonders for you. So saving up a unit as good as the Uruk-hai pikes, you know, these poor shield maidens of Rohan are the perfect tool to deal with something like the Uruk-hai pikes, but we've already managed to use up their ammunition. So we are just able to, little by little, chomp, chomp, chomp. You know, we may be facing off against some superior units here, but if these men can stay in a formation, if they can keep their enemy outnumbered, I'm kind of seeing the same thing here, but of course it's very, very badly outnumbered, and I'm just fighting Helmingus. I'm not fighting anything half decent. Westmark Spearmen could maybe be launched into one of these fights. They've got the defensive value and the decent armor to kind of go toe-to-toe with a few pikes, but there's some axes getting hurled at them. I think that's from my Herenidane Berserker, because I don't really take axe throwers. Where are they? Nope. Yeah, definitely not Herenidane Rangers, who have had to actually be launched into melee there, as you can see. What I would really like, I think if they're gonna change the Herenidane Rangers into an armor-piercing archer, I'd love it if they changed their melee potential as well. Not much, but you know, it'd be really nice if they, you know, if they're gonna make that change about them, then it would be cool to give them, you know, some slightly better melee values or something like that. I'd be into that. But as I say, I'm very biased. I don't lie about that. You know, Rhudaur it's either my favorite or my second favorite faction in Reforged. So I'm of course going to be very. I'm always going to want them to have cool stuff. Over here, what have we got hiding still amongst this force? Oh, is that some Obsidian Guard? Jeepers. Yeah, I should have noticed them. Their armor is really does make them stick out quite a bit. Obsidian Guard are actually, oh, that's really cool. Like, oh, they're fighting to the death now, but it's these two single-handed dwarves fighting up against these two single-handed Eastern men. So that's quite a fun little battle. But of course, we just caught the tail end of it there. Sons of Eol came in for a decent little charge there. I'm really scared about my poor Herenidane Berserkers. I don't want them to receive a cavalry charge. And I'm sure that Critch doesn't really want to mix his Innis Rem up with that. And they've still got their war goats lurking around. It was very smart for them not to really, to try and save some of those guys for when we were less, in number. You see a lot of people, they seem to be in a hurry to lose their cavalry. And it's so it's good that they've not done that. They've saved them for when we're a little bit, all of our tools to defend ourselves have been used up. And we really are relying on just our numbers to defend ourselves from enemy cavalry. Westmark Marshals actually are really tearing into the Uruk-hai infantrymen. Yeah, that's quite nice too. No, I really want the lake in the background of an image. So no, we're not going to go for that. But yeah, those Westmark Marshals are a great tool to go up against that. My enslavers have been fighting for a long time, but I've been picking their opponents quite well, and they've never really been fighting something that can effectively kill them. So yeah, that's not too bad then. They've done pretty well for themselves. Horse Guard from Critch. Perhaps maybe should be saved just to try and deal with some of the enemy cavalry in the later stages, but they're doing alright anyway. Oh, that's Critch's general dropped there. Part of some cavalry force by the looks of things. My Dunman Pikes are having a good fight here actually. Good flat ground engagement up against the spears of Evendim. And yeah, this would normally be a pretty decent matchup, but just because I outnumber them so badly, and I'm a phalanx, it really helps out. The Hiri Peng might change that. If they get a good side attack on me here, they can just start chewing through my formation, and the Dunman Pikemen are not, their morale is not absolutely fantastic, so they might struggle if they start taking casualties quite quickly. The Spears of Evendim faring off a bit better up against the Uruk-hai infantry, but the Uruk-hai infantry are no joke. They're, they're above and beyond most men-at-arms. So, although the Spears of Evendim may be pretty substantial and really good at holding back, say, something like the Moranon infantry or many things even from Angmar, the Uruk-hai infantry are just, as I say, a step above that. Especially, but he does have a good shot with his Hiri Peng, actually. Really not scoring much friendly fire, if any. So that's nice to see, because but that's just down to elven accuracy. Those poor Balthros Sapphire, not Silver Bladesmen, Sapphire Bladesmen have used up their ammunition as the... Please tell me that that's just the Huntsmen. Oh, damn, that's Huntsmen. I was hoping that would be something like Bows of Evendim. But no, those Huntsmen and now the Woodland Realm Axemen are going to be ripping through our right flank, and we don't really have anything more there. Windbrisk has quite a lot in reserve, but a lot of what Windbrisk has in reserve is archer contingents. The left flank is going a lot better for us. Is this one? Oh no, that guy's just bugged out when he fell off his horse. But no, these Westmark Spears could maybe be coming in and helping out somewhere, because we're really winning quite nicely over on this right flank. It's the centre and the left that we're having... Well, actually, sorry, this is the right. It's the left that we're having good success in. Centre, we're doing all right. And then right is where we're having a lot of trouble. There we go. Good, confirmed. My Hurrendane Berserkers have come over to the centre, along with the Enslavers, who are down to 33 now. So as I say, they've been fighting constantly, so they will be getting hurt pretty bad. But I've been careful with them. Just wanting to slam them into the Elder Council, Cinder off the Girdle, still 32 of them, really nice and healthy. Backed up by quite a few Huntsmen, 45 of the Huntsmen there. That's another general. I think, well, that's Windbrisk, who is part of the Champions of the White Hand. Blackwold's definitely out of their element here, fighting up against the Mirkwood units. It's just a bit of a confused look on their face when they crack down their massive stone axe and realise that this little spearman has blocked it and not just taken it right to the chin. This poor guy's dropped there. Stabbed on the ground. Ah, damn. Shame. But down to 4 of them, locked morale, so they're going to be fighting to the end. And holding them in place long enough for the Dunman Pikes to get in there. Medicelled Guard, though, that changes the game. And what do I have elite unit-wise? I need to get my Enslavers over there, but the Enslavers are suffering like a certain defeat right now. Hurrendane Berserkers coming over this way. I'm really wanting to shut down those Greenwood Rangers. They've popped up, they've been saved. Tribber's been saving them right for the very end here. So, oh god, I'm ripping through a lot of the Sindar of the Girdle. That's great to see. And over there, the Sindar are faring no better up against the champions of the White Hand. So, but doesn't matter. They're all just, you know, holding us in place for long enough that the Greenwood Rangers can tear holes through us. So we need to shut that down. My enslavers have turned things around a bit, as have the Dunman Pikes. Yeah, so that's good. Over on, oh, yeah, once again, a very deep push made by the Huntsmen. Just slamming into these Uruk-hai archers, just dropping their numbers significantly. But really, if I was Trebor, I would love to come in for a charge up against those Trolls of the White Hand. The Huntsmen coming in maybe for 3 good charges, suddenly those Trolls are dropping like flies. It would really be quite effective. That wasn't that was a good enough charge. Well done. Okay, I didn't think they had charged for long enough, but no, they almost decimated that unit. I'm surprised it didn't rout. It's like 8 men and it's only shaken. Very brave. So I managed to finally free up my Hereditane Berserkers and lock down this unit. We managed to kill off the Mirkwood general there, and I'm feeling chuffed a bit as we just start to tear through these Greenwood Rangers. That's interesting. Okay, cool. Because I've been theorizing about that spin around and then small T-pose glitch, and I've been seeing that happen a lot more when it comes to fighting enemies that are using two-handed two-handed weaponry. And not really been seeing it happen too much when it comes to these one-handed units. But as we saw there, the Hereditane Berserker just had one of them doing it. So that's kind of shoots that theory in the back a little bit, but maybe still makes it more frequent. So am I to believe that that's true? I think I am currently the only, if not the only, then one of the only generals remaining at this stage. There's not many of us left. There is my general fighting off on that side. Trebor's got his men in guard mode, which is smart. Does he have anything else hiding up this tree? Well, hiding up this mountain. Sorry, I was looking at Mirkwood too much, and it was perplexing me. But over here, one good charge from the Huntsman. Manages to bring down my general. And as I say, I'm pretty sure he's the last one left. If not, then I don't remember Lord Blackwell's general dying, so we need to maybe have a think about that. Let's zoom out a little bit, see what they've still got. Over here. That's one of the enemies breaking. Is this is one son of Durin remaining? Just smashing into the Uruk-hai infantry. He'll no doubt kill a few more, but just having one of them is not really going to do enough. Chasing down a few more of these Spears of Evendim. As I say, I think this is really the only place that they've got men still fighting. And this is the final good. Yeah, and then he's done. I'm pretty sure he admitted oh no, I would have said he admitted defeat. So yeah, no, that was a really fun little fight. I was hoping it recorded fine this time. Let's go through the kills for now. Hereditane Berserkers there. Pretty chuffed with them. They suffered a lot of casualties, but managed to use up all of their axes. So that's always a good sign. The Enslavers, as I say, they were able to rack up such a nice kill count because they never really were going up against a unit that could kill them effectively. That's quite it's a way that I don't usually like to use my elite units. Usually I will use my elite units to counter enemy elites. But sometimes you do need to just use them to kill hordes of fodder, and that's kind of what I did there. Even though there wasn't really... And it's quite good, you know, we were not fighting fodder armies. So Rohan can bring a lot of fodder, but Ego-sama didn't play them that way. My pikemen there, Hereditane Pikes, just got destroyed. They were really targeted as soon as they entered that area. Perhaps I should have sent a Dunman Pike forward first. But yeah, all in all, you know, it is what it is. My 2 Dunman Pikes did very well. 157 kills, considering what they were up against. I'm chuffed to bits with. 126 from the Black Wolves is nice. 101, still pretty damn decent. Definitely kind of what you want when you're going up against orcs. 3rd time lucky dwarves. You know, just to break through that armor. Double clansmen there. 100. Yeah, really impressed with the kills from the clansmen. Like, that's great. Then 115 swordsmen. Very nice. 25, maybe not so great, but as I say, just fighting up against dwarves, you're never really going to do too great with that. Hereditane Rangers. Yep, 215. Nice. Good for me anyway. I'm not too good at using them. And all in all, yeah, decent. As I say, kind of threw away my Coalfell Maidens toward the end. Really should have kept them in reserve. Kind of went up against my own advice there. As I say, I was kind of like, I've got this unit of cavalry. I need them to die. So I just found a target for them and threw away, you know. When I always do try and say, just, you know, if there's not a good target, just wait. But yeah, Windbrisk there, as I say, he didn't rack up that many kills because he came in at the end. He was our closing stage man. So that was his purpose, and he did that very, very well. Critch there really was an almighty meat shield, and he got the enemy use up a fair bit more ammo. Also managed to lock a lot of the cavalry in place, so and got a good few charges off too. Egu-sama there, I think, yeah, it's just a case of, I did try my best to explain the map to everybody. You know, when we went in, I did try to sort of explain what it was going to be like, but I should have maybe emphasized how little space there would be, because as I say, Rohan would have been an okay pick for this. I think you could have done that, but like, I think there was just maybe too much cavalry on the field. And but yeah, it was still just like nobody went around the other side. You know, if we had to deal with a few cavaliers behind us, that could have been quite messy. We had quite a lot of melee cav though, so I can see why they maybe wouldn't have done that. Trebor there, yeah, maybe using the rangers earlier, but you know, and there were a few sneak attacks that were really fun, but you know, as I say, I just don't think they really did all that much. But yeah, no, like there was no issue with it really. All in all, pretty damn decent. As I say, it was a good plan to bring so many Spears of Emendweir. It just so happened that, you know, the Spears of Emendweir were getting hit by units that were pretty damn decent. You know, if the Spears of Emendweir had been going toe to toe with Critch's forces for the most part, then that would have been a different story, I think. You know, we saw wherever Critch was fighting him alone, then yeah, his poor forces of Rhun were getting decimated, but it was the Uruk-hai that were there and just very sturdy and badass. So yeah, and of course if he'd been fighting my poor mountain men, that would have been terrible for me too. Then Lord Blackhole popping up there, being an amazing blocker right at the start. As I say, there's two ways to kind of be a meat shield. Well, you're either a meat shield or you're an armor shield. Or you're a physical shield, and that's the dwarves. You know, the dwarves don't defend with massive numbers. The dwarves defend with good spearmen who can have a shield and have good armor, and Lord Blackhole did that very well. And he did catch on quite quickly to what I was trying to do. I was trying to make him use up his crossbow ammunition, and he did stop before too long. And as I say, maybe just I think the main reason that we won there was just because the enemy spent quite a lot of money on cavalry, and they just weren't able to use them too well on this map. And even if they had, you know, we had quite a lot of melee cavalry to counter it, whereas we didn't really spend anywhere near as much of our money on cavalry, so we were just able to be hardcore infantry. But all in all, yep, hopefully this battle's alright. I've been looking forward to doing this one for a really long time. As I say, I tried it a few times, and thank you guys very much.